Goddamn teepees and tents and shit, wigwams and longhouses, and those are not Moors. Pale skin, yeah, Blackamoor, them right there, indigenous, aborigine. That's the original natives. What y'all talking about? Do I gotta further that? We were the first beauticians, the original ones. Motherfuckers in their bullshit. Trying to be us and disrespect us. Man, y'all done lost y'all's mind. That shit done come to an end. Get your ass tore out the frame now these days. And the lost wayward niggas can get it too. Trust me. It's different. It's different, y'all. It's like all the bullshit time that they doing. How many of y'all watched that Twilight Saga? You remember every time a new vampire came in, somebody changed it to a werewolf? Where do you think that comes from? Y'all let Zionist Hollywood keep writing the narratives for you? You better learn, listen and learn. I'm gonna wait no 5 or 10 minutes. Just gonna get into it. Whew. Tired. I went outside. After that, I had to chase that one around. I think he's half asleep probably down in the window. I opened the window down there and I laid one of my solar panels up so he could go ahead and just, he likes to climb on top of anything 2A or anything gun related or electronic, not live. But you know, he'll call up on top of my drone boxes and I'll be like, dude, you don't get your butt off of that. All right, let's go ahead. I'm still stuck. A little bit today, I am stuffed. And that wasn't a lot, y'all. You can serve 2 people. But that's all I ate. I didn't have no salad. I didn't have no breadsticks and all that other crap. I don't, you know. And I'm stuffed. Oh, you know what I gotta do. I almost forgot. That's me, y'all. I haven't had my tea in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. The other tea, and I'm doing my best to let my system, because you get, you know, when the tea that I'm using, it can create kidney stones. It can have adverse effects taking it too much. So when I did it 4 or 5 years ago, I did it for a week, off a week, 2 weeks, off a week and a half, 3 weeks, off 2 weeks, and I started the same cycle. And by the time I was good. I've been drinking it for half a year, and I could feel too much lavender. Too much of anything is a bad thing. I knew it, but sometimes I want to rush the process. And I wasn't incorporating, utilizing all the other tools. I was just like, it's like self-abuse when you're tired of something. I know somebody yawned. I know you yawned. But yeah, I had to do that last live, and I'm not gonna go into it, but I had to. So that way they could see, because I know they come and watching. I already know one of them that's watched a number of times. And I would love for that idiot to open his mouth. I would love for him. Not only embarrass him, because he wants to be skewed and so separated. If anybody needs to segregate, it's us from all of them. Everybody. I'm still an advocate for that. But I love a lot of my family out here who I know, and they would just be cool with it too. They know. Sometimes you gotta heal, and sometimes in order to heal, you gotta put yourself away. And I'm so grateful for the younger generations that are waking up, man. It's making the older generation look really, really stupid. It really is. And it's disgusting. You wonder, how did they get lost? There's choices and bad decisions. Trust me. All right, let's go ahead and get to chapter 13, the lands of Saturn. I'm stuffed. It's uncomfortable stuff. It's not a lot that I ate. Y'all saw it. It was a little plate size of my fist, y'all. I drank a lot of water, though. I'll admit to that. I drank a lot of, and I'm not talking about water that I purified either. I just opened the grace. I just drank it. I was just like, I got to have some water. I ain't put no lime in it. I ain't put a little potato at the bottom to soak up bad things. I ain't do nothing. Yes, y'all. You get a little purple potato, plop that in the bottom, hit it with a couple of blueberries, pineapple. Pineapple's the best, guys. The women will love you. in the morning, and you let it soak, and you know, drink away. Lime is best though. Okay, so let's get into chapter 13. I'm sitting comfortable with my belly. It ain't that big, y'all. I'm getting twisted. It's not. Whenever y'all see me, I have on not just my side piece or my leg holster. I have my little platform in the front. All right. Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. The Saturnanians are beings of very tall stature. Excuse me. The Saturnanians, and you remember, what does that remind you of when you think of the tall stature? Right? What do you think of? What movies? You know, these things aren't fiction. They didn't just pop up out of nowhere. Based upon my opinion, not saying my opinions, I'm just saying based upon my opinion. The Saturnians are beings of very tall stature. Some reach up to 14 meters. You know, I gotta type that in for y'all. I know some of y'all know the other measurements other than foots and inches. But for those who don't, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. Oh, I love doing this. That is 14 meters? What the fuck? 45 feet, 11 inches tall. You be talking about in the bedroom, huff and a puff, and they be like, you got to punch back into it. That's scary stuff. Okay, let me go. Low humor. Okay, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and keep it going. All right. Their psychic development, along with their imposing figures, makes them very strong beings. For that reason, all right, do you remember the movie AI, Artificial Intelligence, when the world was destroyed and the little robot boy wanted to see his mother again, so these creatures were able to get the DNA? Remember? Okay, anyway. For that reason, and for their great technological advancement, they were never conquered by any parasitic race. These lands, even though they are gigantic and attract attention because of their big rings, were not visited until relatively recently. When the Anunnaki visited them for the first time, they came to a quick agreement because they saw those lands and the native beings as very hard and difficult to colonize. The Anunnaki were coming from hard times of many wars in several places, especially in the known lands. And they did not want, or rather could not, have another big war. They knew they did not have much chance against the Saturnanians. For that reason, they preferred to have a friendly relationship with their leaders. The funny thing is that when they tried to find leaders, they realized that it did not work that way there. The hierarchical pyramid, of which they were so used to did not exist. There were no leaders or anyone representing their race. That's why I keep telling y'all we didn't have no matriarch and patriarch. That's some foreign bull crap. And yet there's certain women, feminist ideologies that keep pushing it. Certain Negroes will probably down low keep estimating something as to prove something. We didn't have that. We had balance, harmony. The hierarchical pyramid, of which they were so used to, did not exist. There were no leaders or anyone representing their race. They simply all did as a whole. Their great psychic power united to carry out decisions that would satisfy everyone and benefit the entire race. These titans were really united. The problem with our people is become perverted like everybody else. So it's not going to be just niggas. It's going to be a whole mixture of people who want the same thing, and we're going to have to elevate together. And to hell with the rest of them. And that's a fact. If you got an issue with that, you need to go on with the little losers. Go on with the losers. Go on with them. The exploration ships they possessed were extremely advanced for the time, and it is said that they taught the Anunnaki a lot about the Great Dome, as they were able to visit it on several occasions. The Great Dome. They flatly refused to help them to penetrate the celestial lands, as they consider it sacred like so many other races. These beings are frugivorous. What's the word? Frugivorous? Frugivorous. Some shit. Anyway, fruits, I guess. They usually have a bluish color in almost all their body and white tones in their abdomen. These titans visited the known lands on several occasions during different resets, carrying thousands of stories that are today intermingled with mythology by custodial manipulation. Some have been immortalized in the known lands. They can be found on large stones, mountains, or trees, as some suffered from custodial technology long ago. There is a rock that looked like these things that is gigantic, and we're talking about at least 100 tons. And not man-made, well, yeah, but it's not in the right place and nobody knows. I mean, you would have to trek to see this thing. Along with the Anakin, these beings are feared by the custodians and Anunnaki, as they consider them a real danger in their plans to conquer the celestial lands. Chapter 14, the lands of Orion. I said I knew y'all would like that one right there, though. Lands of Orion. My apologies. Let me show you what it looks like. And the map, don't worry, it'll be printed out. I know some of y'all probably cussing me out now. I'm waiting on them. So on the map. And they're giant. So this one, chapter 14, the lands of Orion. Are you behaving now? Are you still cutting up, acting a cat fool? What? These lands are dominated by beings known as greys, generally of small stature between 1.30 and 1.40 meters high, very small. They are beings of great psychic and scientific development. Their laboratories are extremely advanced and undoubtedly the best that can be found within this great dome. They have been experimenting with many races. They have in their possession knowledge about all of them existing here, and the custodians have used them on several occasions in their obsession to try to achieve penetration into the celestial lands. But as everything tried was a failure, many of these beings were busy analyzing the human being in depth, carrying out abductions and other genetic tests. They are beings that lack empathy and are generally hostile towards humans. Only on a few occasions have they shown compassion, but cases of abductees who have had really bad experiences abound. They have been abducting and experimenting with human beings for a long time. In fact, in the time before the last reset and other resets as well, they were already experimenting with us. The curious thing was when they tried to do it during the time of the Great Advance Tartary, where free energy was controlled and a very superior technology for that time, the ships of the Greys were destroyed almost by thousands every day. Now, do you know why they destroyed 90% after prior, during, and after the so-called 1945 Reconstruction period? 90% of Tartaria they destroyed, especially around our coastlines in this land. Otherwise, Louisiana would have never flooded. The Gulf wouldn't have the issues. And all in other lands, even in so-called Africa, they raised a lot of those Tartarias, a lot more, as much as in so-called Slavic Russia and Germany, which they've incorporated for their own uses and perversions, bloodletting. We could call them brothers. We could call them brothers of the beings of Zeta Reticuli, since their races intermingled and today they coexist together. In the time before the Great War, these beings were in control of the known lands for a short period of time, as the custodian and Anunnaki leaders had major uprising problems in another circle environment. This was taken advantage of by the giants and humans to carry out the largest uprising in history. The Greys were defeated without being able to do anything but go in search of the custodians. How do you think we were able to defeat the most advanced technological being of creatures? The Greys were defeated without being able to do anything but go in search of the custodians. These beings were expelled from the known lands by the giants. This, they would never forgive them. And although they were later meetings with giant leaders, it is well known that they detest them and that the feeling is mutual. The greatest leader of the Grey beings died in the known lands here. That generated that the hatred that they had for humanity was raised even more. And you better believe they've been experimenting with that body for a long time. We have Anunnaki kings and stuff, and they've showed their bodies numerous times. The Greys colonized independent lands, but never came to dominate any other circle environment on their own. The beings of Zeta-Retically were colonized by the Anunnaki and used in their great expeditions towards the exploration of other lands. On the other hand, the Greys of Orion followed a similar path, but on the custodial side. With the great difference that the Orion Greys really revealed themselves with the great difference that the Orion Greys really revealed themselves when the human uprising existed. The death of their great leader caused a deep hatred towards the custodians for the task of taking care of other people's lands. Several battles existed between them, which further facilitated the power of the great Tartarians in the known lands. Although it was never managed to have them as allies since they hate humans, the truth is that there was an exchange of technology between great leaders and humans. But they fell into the hands of the elite and were used against and for the destruction of the race itself. And you motherfuckers still want to vote for these pieces of shit, these excrements, these false prophets, these false... Great beings can also be found in the Mars lands, which is a large experimental land where both the custodians and the Anunnaki jointly control. The human colony there clashed several times against the Greys, but were defeated in all those battles. They use cloning to subsist as a... Listen to this. They use cloning to subsist as a race and are very robotic in their functions. They are devoid of any kind of emotion or empathy. They came very close to being totally exterminated in the past. And cloning is real here, people. You don't have to believe it. You always see the glitches, and they're easy to hide. Chapter 15, Pleiades. The Mayim Ocean. And you have the Pleiades, you have Atlas, Meropa, Electra. It's like almost like Cyclone, but it's Alcyone and Asterope by the Mayan Ocean. And that's freaking beautiful, even in the simplest of drawings. This is magnificent. Check this out. The Pleiadians are very close to the known lands. Palladian Park, Palisade Park, anyway. They are very tall beings that keep great physical similarity with the Norse. It is said that their ancestors survived the Battle of Asgard against the Custodians and then escaped to those lands in the Pleiades. They are generally benevolent to humans. Listen to this, benevolent to humans, but made a peace pact with the Anunnaki during an early age of their development. They rely on your spiritual development and improving your living conditions. Their circle environment is believed to have been manipulated by the Anunnaki since almost their beginnings. For that reason, they suffer natural disasters from time to time, attempting to improve their current situation, although their lands seem to be destroyed at an accelerated rate. It is believed that this was implanted to force them to have to escape from there and seek refuge in the known lands. Although many of these beings visited the known continents, especially the northern entrance through Asgard, they do not feel comfortable coexisting with humans. They looked for other alternatives, but they were a failure. They also failed to live in any of the lands behind the walls of mountains. These beings did not help the humans in the Great War, although neither did they help the custodians. They simply stayed on the sidelines. Although there is a good relationship with the giants, they are not seen with good eyes as allies, since they show no interest in humanity in delicate moments of history. Anyway, their great spiritual advancement is worthy of learning. They are beings that could help humans on their way. And lately, there are more Pleiadians entering the known lands. It is estimated that in the near future, they could migrate in large numbers and coexist in these lands, accepting certain custodial conditions. Perhaps this is happening right now. And then tomorrow we'll pick up after what you call it, the lands of the clones. Reptilians and the celestial lands and other extraterrestrial worlds. Man, y'all just don't know, man. And yes, I do continue to read, y'all. And that's why I said I had to read Enoch this morning. And I'm going to read it again tomorrow, 8 a.m. Y'all know I don't like saying morning, but we are in a state of mourning. Excuse me, I know somebody yawned with me. This is what I love doing, man. I'm hoping y'all enjoyed it. And, oh yeah, I'm still gonna come hard about some shit. Excuse my language, children. And you ain't gotta worry. Like I said, it's not a game what I've implicated in the very beginning. And the other channel I have, I'm probably gonna do more of my 2A stuff over there. I have a lot of videos I need to chop up and put over there. Everything you pretty much see on here is just me, like new rifles I built. I have another one I built, and I haven't even test fired that one. So I'll probably upload that on here because it'll be just like just regular old pop, sighting, making sure, you know. Well, the other one, like anything I do with like Matt or one of those guys, if it comes down to it, like moving tactically, bounding, whatever, I will upload those on the other channel. Yeah, a lot of y'all, I'll put it up what the page looks like, so that way y'all can go subscribe to that as well. That's going to really be just my 2A. And maybe a few other things, maybe vehicles, just like little likes, just the things that we can enjoy. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to personalize to the point where egos and all that kind of crap. We can actually enjoy things. You know what I'm saying? But, and I'm not going to show you the rifle on here. So y'all seen enough of my little guns. See one right there. Other than my Canics, because I have 4 of them, that Turkish made. When you talk about accuracy, sorry, my brothers in America, I love y'all, but they kind of whooping y'all, man. That thing is freaking accurate. I don't even have a sight on it. It's just real. Where my finger's pointing, that thing is accurate. That one, this one, let me empty it out. They have their thing on here. Even though it's a safety, there's a couple safeties on here. All right. Okay. And I have, these are my training rounds because I was going to do some training. All right. I like shooting this gun a lot. I want to change. I want to clean it after I get to 3,000 rounds. I want to see how well it continues to do. I've already dumped it in water and mud. But anyway, this boy right here is loosening up a lot more. This is the SAR USA. All right. This is the SAR Cinemas. This is Turkish made. SAR 9 Cinemas. This is a beautiful platform made in Turkey. On here, I have the PL Mini, Volker I2, Olight. A lot of people have an issue with the Olight. The Olight is perfect. There's nothing wrong with the Olight. Like, stop being retarded. The Olight is fabulous. And I have 4 different types that I use. So, you're gonna have people, it's all about. I hear the radio through my TV. But anyway, excellent platform. I bought this when it was cheaper than what it is right now. I've got 2 Israeli guns I'm not going to show in here. I'll probably show on another channel that are just fabulous. But the Turkish guns, 4 1911s I got. 2 of them are Turkish. And they fire, I did some modifications, but they fire just like the expensive 1911. If not, just as well, the handles, I think, better. I qualified with the 1911 in the military. Excellent, excellent firearm. I don't. Everybody's out here chasing the alien, all these different. I'm not with all that crap. I'm at the gun range. I'm looking at all these new guns. I'm like, man, fuck that. Give me something I know I can put down range, and I know it's gonna. I can clean it and it's gonna keep performing. Now I do have extra barrels. You know, I have extra firing pins. I have upgrades. You know what I'm saying? It's like buffers. When you build a rifle, you got to make sure with the coil, depending on the tension strength, if you don't have the oil and heat and oil and all that, without damaging it, you got to know if you want to shoot flat, whether it's level 1, 2, or 3, whatever buffer you're going to use, the platform, the lower AR-15 lower, you could put a 30 blackout up on it. You could put a AR-9 platform on top, a 22 platform on top. You could put an AK platform. You know they have the AK now platform that mounts to an AR bottom. I'm serious, and a lot of people don't know that. I'm like, okay, so you got 2 lowers, but you can have 5 to several different tops and change out with the max. But that's a lot of ammo. You dig what I'm saying? But this is one of my favorite. Other than my Glocks, I love my Glocks. My 21, my 20, 10 mil, my 23, my 22, and my 43, and my 19. I love my Glocks. You can never take me away from my Glocks. I don't give up flying. My 21, I bought from my buddy, he's a police officer. Man, some guy in Utah. Anyway, that's another story. I love that friggin' gun. That, with the 10 mil, that thing got a bang on. Now I'm making it 2A. My apologies. Okay. Let me stop. I know I'm at home, right? Why doesn't he have his self-defense rounds? Because I got enough guns around me with enough self-defense rounds in it, and some special rounds. And I got something like a spit. Yeah. You know, before 1996, I was in the military, you know. Okay? Never put your finger on the trigger, even when it's empty. I don't know how people keep putting their fingers on the trigger when I just don't get it. I just never done that. I don't get it. Why would you be playing with a gun with your finger on the trigger? You just hold it up, get a grip, you do what you got to do. A lot of people are shooting themselves like that. So please, pay attention to what you're doing. Slow it down. Slow and smooth as fast, always. But excellent firearm. That one right there, where you live, I don't know how much they're gonna charge you. Here in Texas, you can get a good deal. Utah, you can get a decent deal. A little more expensive for some reason, I don't know why. I think I paid, that one I paid, what was it I paid? For the 22 AR pistol, I paid $6.99. For the 22 AR platform, 16-inch barrel, I paid roughly closely about the same amount. My AR-15s, they're well over $2,000, y'all. The way they built up, the 223Ys and that shoots 5.56, the way I built it up, and my AR platforms, and the other ones, I could probably run those for anywhere from $250,000. I guarantee you I can get $500,000. So, I'm not selling them. And my other handguns, $600-700. There's a shotgun that I purchased that I had to send back because it was the first one that ever had any malfunctions. I paid $837. So I'm just waiting for that to get taken care of and get fixed up so it can operate the way it's supposed to, so I can put them, them fire rounds through there, the sparklers, you know what I'm saying? I don't like using certain words on here. I want to keep the platform as clean as possible. It's enough that I showed that. And I want to get them all, you know what I'm saying? They're doing their best to take it so we can't have nothing to fight back unless you just go with your hands and your body ain't too broke down. But like I said, yeah. Well, yeah, when you come out here, they'll be put up. But yeah, if people want to go shooting, we do that. Yeah, ask Westside, ask Traumahawk, ask Janine if she ever comes through. And there's a few other people. Come here. Yeah, we're in the country. In the country, we do kung fu. We do gun fu. We go and we shoot. And I love blowing up tannerite. You know tannerite? You put the little pack, you shake it up, put in a target, boom. Oh, it's so fun. It is fun. But anyway, when we cross that river, build that bridge, motor along across it, we'll have a good time. You dig what I'm saying? Chasing aliens. Yeah. Real talk. Actually, we're the aliens right now because a lot of us don't even know who the fuck we are. Don't even know who the frig we are. Excuse my language. You know? When you're on your own land and nobody can put together why we're held such esteem, low esteem, and yet we have created everything. I always say to the natives, what have you given? What have you created? What have you done? This is what they do. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you want to say that you was working on the Empire State? Bull crap. I said, what they don't show you, and that's what I just love when I lived in New York, when I just go and find all these books and photos, and they have all these melanated Negroes sitting up on the rafters, tossing rivets to repair structures on the Empire State Building. And they always want to say, yeah, well, they had one native. Like, you're the same as the Mongols and the Mongols. You're both the friggin' same out of Russia, Slavic, England, every land you conquered. That's the whiting out fact. You didn't, and the problem is you got blacked out here, and you can't even accept that. And it's an issue. It's an issue. It's sad. But I always ask them, what have you created? You create the X-ray, heart surgery, pacemaker, stoplight, gas turbine engine, refrigerator, brakes for the elevator, excavating machines, hair perms and all that other stuff. How about deodorant? The original. I said, did you make anything? Peanut butter, cotton gin, huh? What? Tell me what you made. Soap. What did you make? They sit there with their thumb up their butt, with their thumb and the other thumb in their mouth, and they look at me like this. Exactly. So stop the ignoramus ignorance. And they riding around in our vehicles. They don't even get that. The first vehicle was made by two brothers. Reverse engineered. And so was the first electric vehicle. 17 what? See, this is what I'm talking about. And it's nothing new. We were the railroad conductors. We knew the underground railroads were literal. Why? Because we used to go to deeper depths that we no longer go to, that they're trivial, and I bet they're not even as welcome as they think. I bet they'll never be able to ascend and get what we had and accomplish what we've accomplished. They're just usurers. They're usuries. Jewish, you know what I'm saying? And that's the reality. But it's about to change. And people better start stepping up and change their face and turning around. Real talk. I'm on here. I might as well give a whole little Hoosier, right? Let me drink some more of this water. This ain't got nothing in it. This is regular old. Hydrate, niggas. Hydrate. But no, for real. I asked them. You know what they tried to push with me? Embroidery. I said, oh, I got a book to cover that. They was like, what do you mean? Who do you think was twining the cotton, the hemp, and making all the clothes that most people weren't wearing until they came here? Isn't it funny that pictures from the 1800s got them wearing slacks and jackets, the few that were here? And our people, all of a sudden, all their clothes started looking old around the late 1800s, after the Civil War, when so many were murdered, condemned, destroyed in secrecy, poisoned. We didn't know how to fight back because we weren't united. Well, we were united, but we didn't know we didn't have our grand leaders who led us in war. We didn't have our grandmothers who chanted. They were singly picking them off and murdering them before we realized it and gathered together to stop them. Yes, we stopped them. But look at us now. We got men, brothers who run around who want to get slid up in the backside. Women who think they're us. The confusion is bad. And then I know it pushes them away from this channel, but I don't care. What I care about is those of you here. And if you had, when you come into your sense of reasoning, well, looking in the mirror, you'll realize why, and you'll pick up your own hammer. You become your own Thor, your own, all right? I hope sooner than later. I'm not going to speak in too many riddles today because some of you are already speculating, and I just want you to stop speculating. You don't need to concern and worry yourself about that. You dig what I'm saying? Don't even do it. Trust me. That's not wintergreen. This is the other one. This is the mint, and it's kind of, it was the only one they had. I don't like it, but it helps my throat though. He is getting so fatty. We kind of look alike. Anyway, so what's going to happen is once I get done with that, it's about 4 or 5 more chapters, right? Before we finish Flatlanders, right near the end of it, we're going to tap into this. No, about a quarter way in before the end, we'll tap into the custodians, and that'll merge in a little more information. Y'all, when I look, let me wait. All right, I got the gold disc of Kusa, right? Then I got all these books down. Oh, that's David Goggins. Can't hurt me. Okay, let me read this right here. A bloody Freemason. The stranger was confused. He failed to comprehend the desperation of Bula's face, or the root cause of their argument. Why should they fight amongst themselves? Marcus had been verbally hurt by his friend's comments, and he tried to sustain his argument regardless of the wounds they might inflict. Unfortunately, I must tell you that a few have tried, albeit in vain, to reverse your unwarranted victory on our muddy fields at Agincourt. No, listen, custodians of time, it's going to tie in quite a few things. You better get some more people to sit in. I'll tell them you need to chime in at this time. Red's going to be on, Red, you know what I'm saying? And I was reading, I read about 3 chapters yesterday evening before I passed the heck out. And I was like, oh, dude, should I read some of that now? I'm like a kid in the candy store, okay? You know how you go in them candy stores though down there in Florida, right? And you run around from the malt balls to the this, to that, and it's all right there. And you got the little shelf, and I used to just load up on Swedish fish and everything, just poisoning myself to death. Yes, when I was in my 30s, shut up, right? But that's how I am in that book, in these books. And to be able to share it, do you know what it's like to read all this time and you talk to people and they're uninterested and you have the voice and everything, but they're uninterested because it's not all the calamity and the chaos going on. I remove myself from chaos and calamity because the only way I want to deal with it is to destroy it. And if you don't get that, then maybe you don't have a righteous bone in your body. You dig what I'm saying? I know that some people don't want to hear. It's not an excuse. Some people don't want to hear anything that's going to relax the movement. And I keep telling people, this is not a fucking movement. A movement's for the bathroom. This is acquiescent to the truth of who you are, because without you knowing who you are and what you're capable of, there is no motherfucking movement. There is no revolution. There is no fight. It's all flight and there's nowhere to run. They made sure of that. And if anybody can't see that, not only are you blind, You have a whole lot of elements and other functions that are messed up in you. And if there ain't no way to tap into it, I hate saying, I despise saying the word lost cause. Yeah. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Give me a thumbs up, and let's keep pushing forward. Because let me tell you something. Watch, you know how people are, right? Watch all of a sudden they'll start flocking over this way to listen to what I'm saying. Oh, they've heard. You have the little Goombas out there, the little boy toys, and everybody else running around. They feel some kind of way because of my statement yesterday, which is a fact. I've been carrying this torch for a very long time. And sharing it with very few people. And it's mitigated itself around because I was in the military. If I wasn't in the military, then I was just in Jersey. I would be dealing with certain individuals, and that information would have never expanded. I would have never met the people I met. I would have never saw the books, purchased the books, stayed with the families, had the conversations that I had. So when I finally came back and I started having those conversations, there was always a handful. Everybody else was so caught up, you know, last day, this, that, cheating, that, always at the bars, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no. Do you know what it's like to have a whole lot of information and it's a little bit of shit? But to have more than so many people around you and they know, and you don't have nobody but a few people to tell it to, and you know something's not right. Do you know what it's like to have that? I remember getting headaches because I used to be sitting around people and be like, they would talk about, yo, he been scouting, he been army, he been here, he been there. And it was always the women who were more interested though. What is it like? What is it like? And I would be like, I would start talking, I'm like, wait a minute, y'all don't care about what it's like. And they literally didn't. And I was just dumbfounded. And I used to say to myself, if I would have stayed here, never traveled the world, paid $75 a week, go to a classroom, learn how to fly a Cessna, jump out of a plane, paid on my own, be trained by SEER guys so I can get used to cold water and diving and all that, take your lessons. If I would have never done that, I'd have been doing the same thing, arguing about us being Indians. Regardless of my great-great-uncles, Teddy, and C is another one. I'm Uncle Gary, he knows about C and everybody else. I'm like, what is going on with my family? Anyway, my great-grandmother, who took me under her wings, always made sure she had me. She held on tradition. She took the eldest son, and she gave him all her knowledge, because he was dead, you know. And my grandmother carried on the tradition. We don't let our children, our grandbabies, we don't let them go to other families. We raise our own, and everybody dies at home. I was upset when she died in a nursing home, and it's always this excuse about work. But there was family there, and I detest that. We gotta get back to the old ways, because the old ways aren't old. They're about order. I hate when I detest when a young guy comes up, hey, I'm like, yeah, well, if you only knew which way you were going, you realize you're heading down a one-way street with a dead end. And sometimes we're on that one-way street to a dead end. So anyway, I'm gonna give a shout out to everybody, and open mic this evening. All right, in about 2 hours exactly. All right, so again, Golden Cougar, Randall, Grey Wolf, beloved ones, and you gotta remember what time it is in the day. People are working, people are getting home, family, kids, children, and all that. I love you guys. Share, communicate this information. Talk about it as if it's yours, because it is. You don't have to worry about me. You don't have to give me props. It's not about that. I'm here to make sure that you have the message and you carry it forward. And if nobody gets it, you got it. And if somebody looks at you all weird or whatever, whatever. You don't have to comment. It's like every time I say, when the police get behind you, pull you over, and you pull over, and they come up to you the window, and you look at them, I thought you was warning me so you can go ahead to make sure I was safe. That is your job, right, sir? And if they start asking for things, say, you just don't say nothing. You stop talking. You just keep your hands out in front. You don't say a thing. No matter what, if they try that, I smell something funny in your car. Make sure you record it. Nothing. The moment you open your mouth, you committed yourself. Don't be nervous. Nothing. Anyway, ladies, gents, in a couple hours, open mic, come on in and open your mouths. Don't sit there like this. Come on in. It'll be a topic, but it's open mic. Whatever you got to say, it doesn't matter. Your little sauce, you want to boo-hoo-hoo, I don't care. All right? I love you guys.